It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Nothing? You got fucking nothing today.
What's the best way to curse a village? I don't feel good. I feel like I stole that from somebody.
Well, I can't even now. I can't.
But I Mexican because I'm half.
And
No?
America.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Guys, I'm tired. I feel like I'm running on fumes.
Wait. I got a question. Did anybody hear the theme music today?
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
So that was half the reason why I was confused.
That was confusing, man. Okay.
But God, son of a Tivis.
Oh, wait. Tivis is here, so we have to play his sound effect.
I have a sound.
Is that Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And congratulations. We have a soundboard. I want to die. Yeah, it's kind of what I already feel like. So first of all, I just noticed, Tivis, that you have your name backwards, which is fucking hilarious.
I was wondering how long it would take.
Also,
And
John,
do you know who? So people that aren't watching the video, do you know who Tivis's picture is?
I don't know. He looks like a principal with horns on.
It's fucking Vince McMahon.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's the Vince McMahon puppet that they used at WrestleMania for John Cena versus Bray Wyatt the Fiend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought he was like a character from like Team America World Police that I didn't remember.
It's cut off, but it says it's just good shit underneath.
But I need Tivis to explain himself because he gave us. What was the question about best way to curse a village?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if you wanted this on there because
Bring
gets
it
worse after the one I told you.
Just at least the first one. I need everyone to understand why my brain is already melted the minute we started this.
All right, so I listened to a group, Australians, and they ask questions a weekly basis. And this one, they weren't sure they could release to the public. It's how to curse a small village. Right off the bat, the very first one, possibly the worst curse I've ever heard of. When you take a dump, the minute it leaves your body, it turns into a baby.
I mean,
so basically,
that's horrific.
They're shitting kids out.
Yep.
I mean,
it's you have to hold it in if you don't want one, and that's not good for you. It's
now, does this
terrible
work
curse
for all genders or?
Yep, everyone.
So it's just gender neutral. Okay.
So first of all,
gender neutral curse.
don't want to be sexist when it comes to our apocalyptic views. I mean, overpopulation already terrifying.
I know.
I mean, this would be like the one time where I'm like, maybe I will just go on a juice cleanse. Does it count? That is horrific. And yeah, it feels like a great way to curse a village. I can't believe people think of this stuff. It hurts my soul.
I feel like it's a skit in like Mad TV. That's got to be something.
Michael, you seem like the kind of guy who would have had a subscription to Mad Magazine like back in the day.
Actually, as up until like last year, I think we still were getting it.
That's fucking hilarious.
I think they canceled it finally, right?
I
don't know. I know I canceled mine.
I thought it got new owners, so they were keeping it.
I mean, I think I've seen them floating around. I don't know. I don't go to Barnes and Noble anymore.
I know the last one that I had seen, at least in our house, was like Trumpzilla or some shit was the cover of it.
All right.
So
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I'd watch that movie.
I just remember when the prequels for Star Wars were coming out, all the parodies, You got the one guy whose head's a banana peel.
Yeah, yeah. I got nothing. I kind of missed the show. I did just see an ad, like a trailer or teaser
Now-
or whatever for a TV show with the big dude, the big not muscle dude from Mad TV, and like he's like a
Okay.
star of some random sitcom or some shit now.
I loved that. I like that better than SNL, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Living Color is still superior to both, but you know,
Oh yeah.
that's just me.
Is my audio going in and out for you guys?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. Cool.
You're so worried. He's so worried.
I'm so worried about it.
He's just it's like like before we got on. This is like the 6th time he's just like
Oh.
you feel like oh god you feel like a needy
What the hell?
you feel like a needy boyfriend is just like, no, seriously, honey, are you okay? Are you okay?
Is this sound okay? Are you okay? Do you want me to go slower, faster?
Did you-
what are you
Louder,
thinking?
deeper?
What are you
Did you
thinking?
Was that my headphones with that high pitched noise?
Yeah, I heard
Oh.
it. See, and that's why I got lucky that it must have been out of the right ear because I didn't have it on.
Yep.
Because I've been asked that a few times because like I have decent Sennheisers that I wear when I record. I usually take my right ear off, and people are like, "Why the hell do you do that?" I go, because it muffles my voice, and it's a lot easier. I guess I'm just a slow person because when I
So-
muffle my voice, it's hard to like not overthink. Like if I'm saying something too loudly and it freaks me out.
So your right ear?
Oh, is he gonna switch them?
Oh no.
No.
Oh.
I was just
I
gonna
was-
make a Vincent Van Gogh joke, but he did his left ear, so I was trying to think in my head. I was like, wait a minute.
Don't know your left
Yeah.
or right. It's the one that makes the L as your left.
I know, like that.
God damn it. God damn it.
I'm
I
in my 30s and I still do that. Yeah. Not as often now, which is nice.
hmm. Guys, I don't know what's going on. I've
Okay.
actually fucking accidental humble brag here. I've done a few streams lately. I don't know what I've talked about with who.
I
Because
know because you were talking on a stream last night about some stuff that you've talked with me about, which was funny. You're just like, I don't remember where I talked about this.
I have no idea, man. I was just like, well, and then it's also like, because then we also do like preambles and shit before we
Yeah.
start. I say that off air or on air? Did we not talk?
Right.
Because bear with me. If I've talked about this, please feel free to tell me shut up. I finally did something that I didn't think I'd do, and I'm sad that I did it.
Uh-oh.
And
Pegging?
damn it, I left that wide open for you.
So wide open.
Just relax. I watched the Mark Hamill Child's Play.
Oh.
Michael, I thought you oversold how bad it was. I'm at a point where I think you undersold how bad it was.
You say that every time, like, I bitch about a movie,
Yeah.
and then you come back and you're just like, you undersold it. I'm just like, I feel so defeated sometimes at some of the
Yeah.
movies that I'm just like, I don't want to waste more energy trying to bitch about them, but God, that movie, fucking.
Well, it's like, it was like, because when you bitched about it coming from like a huge fan of the genre, like
right, the genre and the
and
actual
the literal
franchise itself.
yeah, the actual
With-
storyline and stuff, and
with Charles Lee Ray and everything, like
the
they-
amulet and Shambhala. But
Ooh.
so you were bitching about just from like a lore standpoint. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's. I'm like, yeah, that'll be fun. They
I
changed
couldn't get
lore so
past
much, I
the
don't care.
lore shit. Like, come on.
And see, and then when I was doing it, when I was watching, I go, wow, this isn't even just like they change it. Like they're not even doing a good job at changing it. Like it's all really lame. And
So they did change it?
oh yeah,
They changed it completely. The only thing that they kept the same were the boy's name, Andy's name,
yep.
Chucky's
Buddy.
name, and Andy's
But they
mom's
actually just called
name.
him Buddy. right? His buddy
He
with the
says
eye
he's
at the end.
Chucky. He gives himself his own fucking name. By
That
the
was
way,
annoying.
In this movie, like the kid says, he says his name. I forget what he tries to call him, like asshole or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he just says Chucky. I'm
Yeah,
Chucky.
It was
And then
so
that's
weird.
it. That's how he fucking gets his name. Fuck you, movie. That's like the stupid. Like no, what the
It was
fuck?
it was almost as good as when Han Solo got his name in his movie. Fucking hell. So we're already dealing with that, but it's essentially about a disgruntled line worker, like warehouse worker, decides to like superpower a chip. I told Hannah, we were watching it. I go, oh my god, this is Small Soldiers with a murder in it. Like that's all it was.
Murder and suicide.
It was fucking crazy, dude. And like,
because not only after he unlocks the chip, basically he gets rid of like basically iRobot's that bitch, so he has like free will. After he does that, then you just see him jump out the fucking window. It's like, so does he know what he did is like just gonna completely like fuck a lot of people over or what?
it was fucking crazy. And then there's like, so there's like even just like on a well, first of all, I think Mark Hamill did not do that great of a job as Chucky. It felt awkward and it didn't sound right. He also like, and that song was really cringy.
Which one? I'm trying to remember.
You're my buddy until the end or whatever.
Yeah.
That just felt really cringy.
I remember they did a bunch of Tupac shit in there, like this is for Tupac.
Tupac guy's so stupid.
Now, how did he differentiate from the Joker?
It just honestly, it just sounded like him. It just sounded like Mark doing
well,
it.
that's because when I hear him talk now, he sounds more like the Joker, and I don't know if it's from years of doing that voice altering him.
No, it honestly just sounded more like, because he kind of just sounded like disgruntled Luke Skywalker. Like it just sounded like Mark Hamill, and it was really, it just didn't fit the character very well. But then just even on like some weird technical stuff, like they gave Andy like these two friends, like this big fat white kid and a ginger girl, and they're just like really annoying. It's like, man, they must have watched Stranger Things before they made this film. And then it was like, and even just like the way
if this film was set in the 80s, then you know they couldn't cheat out on a bunch of shit too.
But it was like, even just like the way it was shot was like so fucking bad. Like everything is in like close-ups and medium close-ups. There's like the camera barely moves. Everything has crazy depth of field. It's like you could tell somebody just finished film school and it was like they only had a case with like 4 lenses in it. And it was really lame.
I refuse to go back and rewatch it to confirm that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I was just reading the box office reception.
I don't think it did
even
well.
do good or no? I don't
It
think it
debuted at number 2 and then dropped 69% to 8th the next weekend.
69.
But debuted the number 2 at what? Like what was in the theaters at that time, you know?
Toy Story 4 was number 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Oof.
that's right. They were going against that.
The
And I don't even think that was opening weekend. They were out for a couple weeks and they still couldn't beat it.
Damn.
Well, the nice thing is the original creator of Child's Play. Like the studio owns the Child's Play name, but the original creator can still go and do his Chucky stuff that he's doing. And they're actually, if it ever gets done, supposed to be doing a Child's Play TV show based like in continuity with the rest of the movies.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I was wrong, by the way. It released with Toy Story 4 and Anna.
Oh, fucking who even remembers Anna?
I'd never even heard of it.
And Toy Story 4, the freaking last Jedi of the Toy Story franchise. That's always exciting.
I got a quote here from Rolling Stone.
Oh, God. About
Child's Play.
Oh, bring it.
MIA is the original perverse originality in a misguided satire of the digital era and millennial consumerism.
Wow, that is...
They gave it 2 out of 5.
That was a hell of a vocabulary.
2 out of 5?
Yeah.
Good. It deserves less.
Good.
Well, I mean, Cinema Score gave it a C+, which sounds like you guys would give it way worse.
I'd 2 is generous. I'd probably go 1.5. Aubrey Plaza is like not she's just April Ludgate in this. Like there's no acting. Like it just all felt like hollow jokes. It was just really, it was like just really juvenile.
Not only
like,
that,
really
they pulled it. Granted, it's a very like stereotypical thing to do, but I always looked at her relationship with whatever her boyfriend was like the one that Eminem's mom had in the fucking 8 Mile with the Zod. Michael Shannon, I think it is. Yeah.
I can't believe you somehow snuck in a fucking Eminem reference when we're talking about fucking Child's Play.
I mean, they put fucking Tupac in there. Why not?
Shit. Okay, I sit corrected.
He was busy with Venom.
Oh, Venom. That movie sucked too. But I like Tom Hardy, so
that song is so fucking catchy, but it's so like not as anything on par to what fucking Eminem could do. I'm sorry. I'm not going down that fucking rabbit hole, but it's just so catchy. Like I will sit there and sing the fuck out of that song, but I'm just like, lyrically, this song is ass. It's fucking ass.
I haven't listened to a Eminem album. I think pretty much I only listen to his songs nowadays if you just send me his music video and you're like, is this good? Or like, I think this is awesome.
Bro, the fucking chorus is Venom, get him, chin him, get him, fuck him. It's like, oh my God, really? I know he knows more words than that. Come on.
Lies. You don't cast that on him like that.
Anyways,
yeah,
I need a soundbite for that, so I don't have to say it anymore.
I don't know if did I watch anything else?
Oh wait! Since you did talk about that,
yeah,
5 minutes of slashery.
Oh shit!
There we go.
Killed him with a lawnmower, Michael, with Christmas lights. And and that's when I checked out. I forgot is when Dickhead fell off the ladder or the roof or whatever and broke his legs. I go, for how stupid and corny this film is, that was really horrifically gory, and I hate this movie now because I saw.
Not only that, a fucking head ends up in a kid's room, and they don't freak the fuck out,
and they make it like a joke.
Yeah,
and
like a severed head too, I should say. Like
yeah, wrapped in like Christmas wrapping.
No, they wrap it in the Christmas wrapping.
Yo, yeah. Because they put like oh god, it's so fucking bad.
They do know that dead bodies start to stink, don't they? These filmmakers, dude, right? Like,
it was blowing my mind, dude.
And not only that, there's continually going to be blood running out of that head for quite some time because your brain has to dry out.
It's so gross.
Sorry. Again, slashery.
And I'm just like,
yeah.
Like, I really, there's so many things I could say about it. It's just really, it felt very cheap and very amateur. It was like, even just, again, the way it was shot felt so fucking lame, lazy, and generic. It hurt my soul. It really did. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was very bad.
Well, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again.
But it was funny. I am probably going to be watching the Terminator franchise again because I listened to Critical Drinker and Mahler talk for almost 5 fucking hours pretty much about the state of the Terminator franchise, and
like
pretty
them?
much just talking about how fucking amazing the first 2 are. Okay. And they touch on the Sarah Connor Chronicles and like the other movies, but it was mostly just to praise how good the first 2 were, and then then they would get on small tangents about like how certain movies fucked up the lore in certain ways and how it just kept getting progressively worse.
I know, as far as I remember, Sarah Connor Chronicles is the best thing after T2 for the Terminator franchise as story-wise.
That's what most people would consider. I never really watched it. I didn't. I remember when I first saw 3. I was a little bit young. I wasn't that young.
3? So. I mean, Dark Fate's 3 technically. So
fair enough. No, but the literal Terminator 3. I remember really liking it the first time I saw it,
Yeah,
but it was like instantaneously I'm like, this is not as good. Like I could tell as I was watching, I'm like, this is just not as good as the other
Right.
two, because it felt like a kiddie, PG-13. Like it's like if Disney made a Terminator
Three
film is what it felt
three
like.
was the one, like the one
With
thing
Kristana Loken, she was
yeah,
the chick.
I got annoyed
robot.
because they just like they could have brought freaking Furlong back for that one.
Oh yeah.
Like, why not? I mean, I know he was doing a lot of drugs and shit, but that would have matched. The guy was living on the fucking streets. Like, he was taking dog drugs. Come on.
Oh my god.
Now you're also going to include the other Terminator 3, the T2.5 Battle Across Time.
What the fuck?
That was a ride, wasn't it?
It was, but the video
Universal.
is uploaded somewhere for you to watch.
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
heard that, and like the video game is actually pretty good.
The ride was pretty fun. I got to ride it before they took it out. I believe they took it out finally. They took it out like the year after I rode it, which was pretty dope. My brother got to go to it when they first opened it, and he brought me back the T2 cup, and I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah!"
No, it was interesting because I'm like, T2 is like, I do not care. I think it's like one of the best sci-fi action films ever made.
And the
Salvation
graphics.
Salvation isn't bad.
No, it's just it feels more like just like a war movie.
Right. It doesn't fit into the rest of them. Every other one deals with some type of time travel.
Yeah.
Weird fucking multiverse bullshit.
Well,
stuff,
pretty much
so.
it's all either erasing the original movies and just carbon copying them, or literally just rehashing it with a different set of characters.
Now, Genesis, whether you like it or not, that one doesn't try to rehash anything. It literally just creates an alternate universe, which that's all they do with that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they're not trying to sequelize the movies from that. It's just creates an alternate world.
That's just
Terminator is the one time travel franchise where it just continually loops because they're constantly changing the past, which is altering what happens. And it's like one of those things where even though they rebooted, it still can be considered a sequel.
it's just I think the story got told so well. I just don't think anything was ever going to live up to it regardless.
Well, I mean, they took almost 8 years, I want to say, between the second and the third one that they did.
Yeah.
Now
probably,
Salvation came out in like the 2000s. And then Genesis was like 2013, I want to say, or 14.
Oof.
Tell you in a second.
Couldn't even tell you.
Genesis was 15.
15.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that means Salvation was probably like 2002 or something.
Right.
9.
Wow, God, really that much later?
Terminator 3 was 2003.
Oh, dang. Okay. So yeah, it was almost
God.
like a decade after the first one. Then.
Well, it was
the
the only reason.
A decade.
The only reason why I was thinking is because I was trying to figure out when Avatar came out, because that was when Sam Worthington was riding high, and he was in every fucking action thing that they could find.
Well, yeah.
It's just T2 is such good shit, and I'll recommend if you watch it, watch the fucking the director's cut, because it has. It's weird because this is where it's funny because like you wish you could pick and choose moments to have like when you have those kind of cuts. Is that in the director's cut, there's a scene after they break out Sarah from the insane asylum, and they're hiding out, so they're like pulling the bullets out of Arnie, and they're sewing up Sarah's cut wound that she had. So and then halfway through, this is where they like dig into the Terminator's head and pull out his chip so he can start to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that scene is awesome because then there's like, they take the operating chip out, and Sarah was about to smash it with a hammer, and John was not having it. And I'm not talking about myself in the third person. And it was and it was a really cool scene where it was just like, you're telling me I'm supposed to be this great leader, so maybe you should start to listen to me or something like that. And it was really, really cool. But then there's a scene at the end. After the T-1000 got all hasta la vista babied and he comes back together, he's like grabbing railings and stuff and accidentally morphing into him. And and it's showing he can't control his like morphing power stuff. There's the end where they're like looking for John, and then Sarah comes out and she's like, "Oh, like help me," and then the other Sarah
Yeah.
steps behind him. I've always loved the idea because in the theatrical cut, she says, "Help me," and that's when John gets out of the way because he knows his mom would never ask for help.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's a really cool character moment. But sadly, in the director's cut, they cut to a close up of John. He looks down at Sarah's feet and can see that her feet are morphing into the grating, and that's how he tells which one's which. And I'm like, oh, that kind of makes it too obvious. And I like the
Right.
theatrical way because it makes
Yeah.
John like he makes a decision based on what we know about the characters, which I
Yeah.
thought was really, really cool.
They're-
So there's a
they're
catch
probably-
22.
They probably tried to make it too obvious because people are fucking retarded. I get it.
Exactly.
What happened to the people who did the visual effects on that film? Because I swear that liquid metal, it's still better than some of the stuff we have today.
It
They all
always looks
died.
great.
They all
Well-
died after they saw X-Men Origins.
Well, and God, no kidding. I was gonna tell people, I was like, I think it surprises me because I think why it really works is because again, this is something that CG artists are having an issue with, and I think it's more script and over reliance on it. Is that when CGI got used in a lot of these older films, they were put in like a scene where it was like usually it was nighttime or there was a lot of lights going on and it's things that could distract you. Cause like the liquid metal looks really dope because you're in the like iron mill and it's surrounded by, orange and blues and smoke and all this stuff that can really distract you. Or even just like, it's as simple stuff when the liquid nitrogen and he melts back down into liquid and it all reforms. It's like, it's just a really easy, you put a light, make it look reflective. You're not doing anything like overtly crazy. When he hits his helmet on the helicopter and then he like oozes into the cockpit. I'm like, it's at nighttime. It's like you get away with a lot of stuff just because it's nighttime and you're just making it reflective. As long as you make it shiny, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll pass.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Shit holds up, man. It's good shit. I love that film. I fucking adore it.
Shit holds up so much it makes a baby.
It looks like it set a record for the most canceled projects too.
Fucking hell, really?
Terminator?
The Salvation trilogy, Genesis trilogy, Genesis connected TV series, and the Dark Fate is apparently trilogy is done.
I think Salvation trilogy probably no, but a Salvation based TV show might have worked. Might have.
They had a Machinima series, but that's it.
Didn't they do a cartoon too?
That
Because wasn't that
Terminator
what most of the
cartoon?
action figures and shit were based on, like the T2 car and all that shit
oh,
like that?
you know what? Speaking
Really?
of Terminator, did you guys see the new crossover going on in comics?
What? No.
Terminator Transformers.
Really?
Yeah, it's good. Second issue just dropped.
I mean,
know what
wouldn't the T1000 like instantly be a transformer and automatically just kill him? Or is it not versus?
Kind of, sort of. You're gonna have to read it
Reading.
for nerds. Terminator 3 is what made any film with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it now. I have to listen to the commentary because he's just so bad. All he does is point out the scenes. Like in Terminator 3, when that he makes her breast huge to get out of a speeding ticket. He's, oh, look at that. Her boobs got big.
To be fair, that's what I do when I watch it too.
The best thing from the Terminator 3 movie itself, for me, for entertainment value anyways, is the fucking deleted scene.
You fucking show me that. It feels so.
It's so corny,
insane.
and that you see why it's a deleted scene.
Yeah.
But I think it also would have fit that movie too, tonally.
Which I think is a sad thing to say.
Yeah.
But it is a funny. It's like
funny.
if they just made it as like a silly sketch for it. I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely, it's fucking
It
hilarious.
seems like
but
something that would have been like an SNL sketch or some bullshit. Like
it really feels on par with like the Kylo Ren undercover boss thing. That's kind of what it felt like.
So for people that don't know what it is, it's Arnold is a scientist.
Yes.
In this deleted scene, but his voice is very like yokely, I guess. I don't know.
Yo,
I don't know how you'd say it. Like he
I
sounds
know which
like a
one you're
Beverly
talking
Hills
about.
Billy kind of character. And then he's designing the robot, the Terminator is gonna look like him, except they're like, well, we don't like the voice, so there's like this other small little dude over there with Arnold's voice, and you
Good,
just put
so
it together. That's how
it's
you get
so
it.
goofy. Yeah, because it's like he's all like the Arnold Schwarzenegger is like dressed up
Hey
in
y'all.
his military gear, and
Yeah.
it looks like him. And then they dub over his voice like, "Yeah, everybody, this is what." And it's like, oh my
It kind
god,
of reminds me of the scene from Jurassic Park with the little DNA guy
oh my god,
thing. Like, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do today, and his voice
Dino
cracks and shit.
DNA,
Yeah,
So,
Dino.
I
DNA.
can't find a Terminator cartoon, or you might be confusing it with the RoboCop.
maybe. I know the
Mm,
Mask had a cartoon,
Yeah.
like Jim Carrey's Mask and
Yeah.
Ace Ventura and shit. I just
Mhm.
figured everything had a cartoon back then. Yeah. Speaking
Yep.
of everything that had a cartoon,
Mm.
I might have to dip here in a second and leave you two to go for a minute.
Oh,
I
that's all
wanted
right.
to.
I got news that I'm excited to share with John.
All right.
Oh, shit.
I want to get into this one real quick. So
Go ahead.
we'll
Okay.
play this little thing here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What are those?
So
Daredevil.
Teenage Mutant Turtles are doing the Last Ronin comic series, John. I don't know if you've heard of this.
I have heard about it. I don't know anything about it.
I know Tivis has. It's gonna be
Yeah,
a
it's
5.
everywhere.
Yeah. It's gonna be a 5-issue miniseries that is done by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Ooh.
And 2 others, Andy Kuhn and Tom Kuhn, I don't know, Kahn maybe, and Tom Waltz.
I thought all those words were offensive.
Right? I just don't even know. It's supposed to be based from like an 87 storyline that the creators originally had done, but they never put it out or did it like completed it or anything like that. It gets released in August, so about a month from today's date. So it's August 17th, I believe it is. And it's based around 3 of the 4 turtles are dead,
Oh,
and the
jeez.
one turtle that's left, it has all their weapons, and he's like completely doing revenge mode and going out and killing everybody in revenge for his brothers, hence the name Last Ronin. They have
That
not yet issued who the Last Ronin turtle is, at least to my knowledge. I saw
Yeah.
some shit on Twitter, but I was like, I'm not gonna listen to Twitter. It's like I literally am looking at fandom websites and IDW website, and they have yet to announce it on there. So
Mhm.
it's up in the air as to which turtle it could be. I say it best not be Raph, because that would be too easy, too much easy.
Yeah,
I
I think
What?
I agree with your choice. What you're about to say.
My choice is Mikey. It would be the greatest, like the best, like character swap, tone shift, and everything for him. After he sees like his 3 brothers get killed, and him being more of the goofy guy already, that like pushes him over the edge finally, and you get to see a more serious tone Mikey version, which would be pretty dope.
Pretty much, I figure either Michelangelo or Donatello would work. I think
Yeah.
Mikey feels like the more obvious choice, but
I think,
and
if
also,
they went,
well, because it's the weapons too. Because
Yeah.
you not only get to symbolize it in their personality, but like you have these 2 characters who had a more like blunt weapon
Yeah.
that wasn't necessarily as deadly. So to see him then like pick up swords and
Mhm.
like maybe even use size and stuff could be really symbolic, and like
Right.
it would just be really interesting that way. And yeah, I could totally see that being like a really like a nice like character arc for him,
Yeah.
where just you watch the descent into,
And
I mean, kind of like Hawkeye
Yeah,
essentially
yeah.
in Endgame.
And I love the fact that it's only 5 issues, so I don't have to read like 100 issues of this series to get the full story and shit.
Mhm.
It should be pretty dope. I love the fact that the comics still do darker shit with even the turtles and everything, no matter who owns this stuff, which is really cool. They don't try to do a whole lot of like what Marvel does with Snowflake. I think you told me about or some shit.
Oh, Safe Space and
Yeah, yeah,
Snowflake. Did you know? Do you know about? It was funny that you brought that up because I was like, have you ever heard of Snowflame?
No. No.
He is a superhero who gets his power from cocaine. I guess he's.
No, that's not right. That's not real, is it?
It's absolutely real, and I believe he
All right.
either worked or fought against the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, I kind of want to read these comic books now.
Well, okay. So I just wanted to share that bit of news with you, anyways, for the turtles. So here's that.
There's also that. Sorry.
Oh my god.
There's also that new
Turtle power.
movie they're working on.
Yes, they're going to be actually doing an animated film coming soon. It's not, I don't believe it's a sequel, though, to the 2007 one. So I'm not sure what their plans are with that or anything like that. So we'll see. Wonder if they bring Kevin Smith back as the stupid chef.
Kevin Smith's all over the place these days.
Yeah, he's doing some show, like celebrity kickoff show or some shit right now where they do shorts and stuff at their house.
It's like celebrity show off or something.
Yeah,
like that?
celebrity show off, because it's what Ja Rule's on it, and I guess
Murder.
who
You can do it.
Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis's daughters are on it, or they were on it. I'm not sure who's been kicked off yet or not, because it's like a voting show. But I
Gotcha.
actually find it fun. It's like horrible, like Kevin Smith's skits that he's doing. Like the only reason he's staying on there is because he has a cult following. They're voting for him, but they're like so bad and so cheesy. But it's like, hey, celebrities found what YouTube is, and they're making a lot of money from it with a real show. Okay. So they're basically just doing YouTube videos.
Yeah, we watched one the other night. It's like him versus his stepson or whatever, but they're not even engaged.
So
Oh.
you were saying that you had news for me? I gotta hear
I
this.
do, but real quick, going back to that new animated movie, it's being developed with Point Grey Pictures, Seth Rogen's company.
Oh yeah.
Evan Goldberg and James Weaver are producing. Jeff Rowe from Gravity Falls is directing, and Brendan O'Neill will be doing the screenplay. Brendan O'Brien.
That seems like a pretty good lineup there.
Yeah, so Jake Cassidan, I think that's how you pronounce it, he was talking yesterday, and he confirmed a movie that is coming out from Disney. No, not Disney. It just got The Rock in it, so I assume it's Disney automatically. Jumanji.
Wait, what?
They're doing another Jumanji.
That can't like a third one for the Welcome to the Jungle stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that would make sense. I thought you were like trying to tell me they were going to reboot it again.
No.
Oh, that would hurt my soul.
No, but I did listen to your guys' talk about the movies and how you like them so much. Oh, wait. You sound robotic.
Let me. The first one I consider a masterpiece. And then Welcome to the Jungle, I felt like a cool concept, but like I think it was held back because it was trying to make too many references to the original. Like I think if it had just been its own thing, like a video game that sucked it, just kind of like how Zathura was kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
I think if they'd have done something more akin to that, I think it would have been better. But like I said, they're just silly action rock movies, and I haven't seen the second one yet, but I've heard that one has a little more like substance and a little bit more like, I don't know, like humanity in it that makes it a little more enjoyable. So I might watch it eventually, but man, after rewatching the first one, it just kind of hurt to watch the new ones immediately after.
Yeah, I can get that. We just actually saw the third Jumanji. I'm tired of
I know, right?
These may be rebooted, but they're still part of the same franchise. Stop calling them 1, 2, and 3.
It's very difficult.
I suddenly lost the ability to talk there. But no, we just watched Jumanji 3, and we really enjoyed it.
I'd heard good things. I mean, like kind of adding the older characters to kind of switch it up a little bit. I was like, oh no, that's clever. It's like a good way to just tack on to the world that you built. So that's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's something I think sequels just haven't been very good at lately. Is like they forget about the movies that came before them, and instead of building on the established elements and characters and motivations and things, they literally just make their own film and then assume just references to the thing before is
what are we talking about?
Jumanji 4 or 5.
4
Yeah.
and 5? Holy fuck.
Well, I count Zathura, so.
Oh.
No, he's saying apparently they're gonna go ahead with the third one in the Welcome to the Jungle Jumanji series, which I figured they'd make money. So,
Yeah. People do forget though there was a Jumanji cartoon, and I'd like to read.
I did forget about that. By the way,
I actually have it on DVD, the whole series. And
of course, you
many episodes. But I would like to revisit it to see if any of the lore in that has been put into the Jumanji itself, the movies.
That would be interesting. I need to buy Zathura.
Zathura is so good.
Every time we talk about Jumanji, I always forget how much I enjoyed that film.
I want to buy that on Blu-ray because I only have it on DVD. There's a bunch of shit though I need to go out and get because I'm like, what are we not gonna be able to get later? So,
yeah.
Like Nick already told me, she's like, look, if you want Tropic Thunder on Blu-ray, just get it. So,
oh yeah.
Like we woke up one morning. We woke up one morning. I think it was like they had pulled some of the episodes of Scrubs, and she's like, look, if you want that, you better get it now because that's the only one. For some reason, we don't have that on Blu-ray. I don't even know if I think we just have like a digital version of it or some shit.
Yeah, we're trying to fly through.
Do they have a Blu-ray? Because I know a lot of the way they filmed the early stuff, they weren't able to convert it properly.
Oh, you mean Scrubs?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's a Blu-ray version of that. I was talking more so Tropic Thunder.
Oh.
You can get Tropic Thunder right now on Blu-ray for like $10, I think, on Amazon, or $9 or something.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Get it before they take it and make it $100 on eBay.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
But,
speaking of holy shit, inflation, dude. Like, this is a completely derail, and we'll go right back. There's this camera. It's like kind of like a GoPro camera, but you just sit it up in one spot, and it has like multiple angles it automatically takes, and you control it with your phone, right? Okay. This thing sells for like $300. No, it's $399, so it's $400 if you got it at the store or something. And I went through, and you can't find it at the store now. And this camera just came out this fucking year. My buddy told me about it. He said he saw it at Best Buy. He said he saw one left, and he's gonna get it because he's gonna use it for live streaming, so he can do multiple angles and just have one camera to worry about. And it's really cool. I'd never seen something like that, and I looked into it. You cannot buy this camera anywhere unless you get it on eBay, but they have it for like $1,000.
Damn.
Amazon, I think it's like at $800, and then you can get a refurbished version for like $299. But then I was like, well, the company discontinued this bitch, so how long until the app stops working? Because you need the app to use the camera. So the inflation, the prices are just going up on those cameras. But I'm like, people are gonna spend that much money. Like I told dude, I was like, look, don't buy that camera for $400 because the app is gonna be outdated in like a month, and you're not gonna be able to use it, or your new iPhone won't be able to use it, or iPad or whatever. Yeah. Anyways, reverse back.
I only got one other thing, so
okay.
This one actually is a Disney film. Reportedly, Tron 3 is in the works again, allegedly starring Jared Leto.
With Daft Punk returning to do the soundtrack. So that's kind of cool.
Big who cares? I thought Tron Legacy like looked really cool and had a lot of potential, and I feel like they just kind of
I'm
farted
only
in
interested.
the wind.
I'm only interested for the soundtrack. Honestly, that the Legacy was just like it was pretty-ish, I guess, but the story lacked a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And unless they're going to continue that story, what's the fucking point?
I mean, I guess they could try and reboot it and maybe hopefully have a better story. Because the world of Tron is cool. Like the gaming shit. And
you're talking Disney. They're not going to try and reboot
I know.
it. They're just going to continue. And they're probably going to be like, well, Jared Leto is the character from the last movie, just a little older.
He's actually the Joker, actually.
Right?
You like that, right?
Suicide Squad was all in Tron.
No, don't do it. Damn it. What have we done? I brought this on myself.
Say, didn't Tron not have a speaking role in the last film?
He did.
He did? Okay. It's been a while and only saw it once.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave the... Yeah, he spoke. Because it was just Jeff Bridges more screen time for him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the younger version of him. It was when they first did the younger CG shit on him.
Yeah. I just remember being extremely bored in the theater when I watched it. I was just like, there was a lot of cool moments where I'm like, ooh, that was cool. That was pretty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, now we're having an exposition dump with Jeff Bridges. I'm like, why is the Obi-Wan the dude telling me? And it's like they make it such a fucking point that they have to get to the like center of the world, yet they have a fucking bridge train thingy that goes straight to it. Like, come on. Ugh, stupid film. Sorry.
I never saw the original, sadly. So
did somebody take a poop? Sorry, Tim. Sorry, Tim. What were you saying?
I shouldn't put this together, but it jogged my memory about an album I know coming out too. The Dalai Lama's putting out an album.
Wait, like
what?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Is that the name of a band or like
no,
the actual...
the Dalai Lama.
Okay, that's okay.
I mean, he's rapping, right?
No, it's a bunch of chants and
throat singing and shit,
blessings and stuff. But
I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. That was racist. I'm sorry.
No, I completely.
I don't know the music.
Oh, yeah, no. Legacy was the only Tron I've seen on it, and I'm sad about that.
The first one's, I mean, it's really rough now, especially.
The most I know of it is the Kingdom Hearts connection.
Honestly, the Tron movies, all of them are just kind of eh.
Yeah, they're just kind of. The first one was liked just because nobody'd seen anything like that before, and it was really like now it's laughable. But if you can get it, if you can start it with the context of like this was like really, really amazing for its time, like you could get through it and just kind of laugh at everything because it is interesting how they did a lot of the stuff. But yeah, the storyline's so fucking weak. It's hard to be memorable.
Lawnmower Man is better.
Yeah. I'll just watch VR Troopers.
But since we have we have Ready Player One that came out recently, like why? Like Tron is nothing compared to that shit. Not that Ready Player One was like so great, but
yeah, I've heard the book
fun nostalgia kick.
But I've heard the book is better. I'd be curious to listen to the audiobook.
Yeah, I've heard it was really like a ton better.
Yeah, the Ready Player One I saw in theaters. I think I went with my mom, and it was one of those things where it was like I remember watching it and I was like, oh, this is like really pretty, and I like the concept and like the world and stuff. The storyline is just really fucking forgettable. I just don't. Nothing really sticks out for me, but like little moments are really cool. Like I did enjoy the Shining thing. Like I enjoyed the big battle at the end, looking for references. But for the most part, it was like if there wasn't a ton of references, I probably wouldn't have given a shit about this film. But
yeah.
I think they're getting a sequel, so I'm curious to see how that works. Ready Player 2, I think is literally what they're gonna call it.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like the Spartans from Halo and the Gundam.
There you go.
It would be just nice if they could just make a movie, and that's it. Like even these fucking rumors that they want to put Phoenix's Joker in Pattinson's Batman. I'm just like, just no.
Leave it
Just
alone.
let it be a fucking standalone movie by itself. That's it. We don't need it anywhere else.
Oh, the outcry from people when they announced a sequel was not great. If they include him in other films,
Yeah.
They
don't need.
I think people just forget. It's like they're like, oh, you still have your other. I'm like, yeah, but it's just it really can potentially sour like the other one. It could really just undervalue the what came before it just by like going, oh, you see this thing, and then they like change up specific things, and then you're just gonna go back and you'll never look at the first one the same again. It really does taint it sometimes.
Hey, look, here is Chris. Chris is with us now too. Tivis, you get to meet Chris.
Cool.
Chris Knight.
Everybody hates Chris. What a great show.
The Chris Knight.
Look at
can't hear him.
It's the Terminator.
Oh,
yes.
Ooh. There you go.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, wait, we gotta play his intro too, right?
Are those the Hangover shades?
No.
Here's Chris's intro.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't. Is that like the start of a porno? What was that?
I think that went through the wrong side.
You're not.
What was that?
I was making a joke because usually I'm only on here with Kenny.
Oh yeah. Chris, this is Tivis, the Vince McMahon doll right here.
Mhm.
If anyone can see, I don't even know how you guys see me. I'm on top of him in my view. And John's beside me.
That sounds hot.
Yeah, it's like what? You're what?
Oh my god, you must have your shirt is fucking green screened out, Chris, and it's hilarious.
This
that
right
what
here,
it
yeah.
There's that green booties.
I got shot.
He's got two green screen nipples.
I forgot. I had to run to work today because some shit went down there, and
like literally ran. That's too hot. Don't do that.
well, you know,
Don't fucking give me it's too hot up there, you bitches.
How dare you?
whatever.
Florida's stupid.
Just because you live in swampland doesn't mean anything.
Oh shit. So what's going on, buddy?
I don't know. After last night, my mother's a pipe under her sink burst. I had to go fix that last night, and then this morning, some other stuff went down at work. It's like, I just wish once in my life that things weren't an emergency. Like,
Can it be something that I know about and it can wait 24 hours?
well, that's kind of the thing. It's like, can't I just get something that? Okay, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I'm at work tomorrow, guys. I'll be there. No,
Yeah.
I get a call. Hey, we need you to come now. Oh, like
Yeah. I've been hit with that 3 or 4 times, and apparently every single time you hear that sound, it means somebody took a poop. That's and that's Tivis's fault. You'll get the context if you ever listen to the first minute of this fucking stupid stream.
Well, I guess because Tivis, you gotta get going soon, right?
Yeah, about half an hour or so.
Okay, so let's dive into something that I'm very sort of passionate about.
Kind of, sort of passionate.
And yeah,
kind of, sort of. Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Mm.
The final frontier.
These
And
are
then-
the voyages of the Starship
Yeah.
Enterprise and its 5-year mission to explore new worlds.
You're all
So-
fucking nerds.
CBS dropped their trailer for
Yeah.
Lower Decks.
Rick and Morty 2.0.
Final Space
whatever.
ripoff. Final Space is so good, by the way. You guys should check it out.
I-
Yeah.
As the guy who's
The least
not-
Trekkie?
I
Well, no,
gotta
Tivis,
say,
you don't watch Trek, do you?
I've tried to catch up, but no.
Okay.
okay. So like me kind of being on the outside, I'm watching this trailer and I go, there's nothing Star Trek about this. I'm like, this is very, It just feels like Rick and Morty, and it's like,
I mean, they got the Star Trek suits. They got the ship.
yeah,
The
yeah.
phasers.
They got all they got the words. I would just say if
aliens.
if it didn't have the Star Trek packaging, I'm sure this would be fine. And again,
No.
it just feels like something that's just kind of, it feels like this weird amalgamation of other stuff that they're just cramming together because it's popular.
Right.
It just looks stupid, but I don't know. It could be funny. But I'm probably not going to care enough to check it out. But what's it feel like to see something new in the Star Trek franchise? I feel good, right?
Something new.
Shiny and new.
How so? It's not
Listen,
really. I mean, Star Trek has done cartoons before.
Well, thank you, but not
So-
as spectacular as this one, right?
I mean, Kirk didn't have his dick hanging out, and
At least not on screen.
that we know of.
Not on screen, sir.
Oh, so I'd like to hear your thoughts, Chris, because I know you said you're in the Trek too, right?
Yep.
All right.
I watched about 10 seconds of it, turned it, and cut it out, and said, nope. I haven't even watched Picard yet. I haven't watched Discovery yet because everything I heard, and I know that that's not really what I should do. I should probably go back and at least
Try. Yeah.
But when I got friends of mine who are real trickies too, and they're telling me no,
Time
and
is valuable.
Picard is so hit or miss. Like they'll have something good one episode, and then the next two episodes is just like, what the fuck, dude?
yeah, and I was also told, because I wondered, because it's on CBS on their streaming service. I had heard, it's got language and stuff. I'm like, so I said, well, was it the language? Is that too harsh? And they said, no. So it's not the language. It's just, it's not Star Trek.
Tone shift. The tone is odd. Which, yeah, it's odd.
I just wonder what Roddenberry's kid is thinking, because
he's
guess
behind all of it too.
Well, his name is attached to it. So the more I read into it is that he's more just there because of the name.
Okay.
And he doesn't really have much.
Well, I've seen him in interviews like defending everything.
Yeah, but I think he's kind of required to. I don't know.
James Cameron defended fucking Dark Fate and Genesis. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But
they love to do the Ray Fisher.
I don't know. It's just I've heard they've fired a bunch of people who are actually experienced Star Trek writers. I've heard that anytime that somebody goes and tries to pitch them an idea, they basically say, nope, not going to do it that way. We have a plan.
Yeah.
And
I know they got one of the writers from, I think it was Next Gen, is coming on to Picard season 2. That sounded bad in my head. He's coming to write on season 2 of Picard. So maybe he can bring something, but like I said, Picard was hit or miss. It just depended on what part of the story you were paying attention to. For me, the biggest and best takeaway was the actual closure that they give to Data's character. Because he got fucked in the movie, and that was always my biggest thing.
Well,
what scene was that?
It was in the
not the one you're thinking, John.
My bad. That's the bootleg version. Got it. I had to walk through the beads into the back room to find that scene.
Go through and watch the Orville season 2 where the robot gets laid, and just pretend that was Data.
All right, fair enough. Sold.
That's the thing right there.
Now,
anytime that you have a franchise as loved and as storied as Star Trek was, so much so that when you start fucking it up, that somebody else goes and begins another series to parody the crap you're doing, but then realizes, because of their viewership and because of the people who write him and say, man, I love your show, that he could actually take that show, and he's kind of not taking all the comedy out of it, but he's kind of made it more serious with comedy and made what people want.
Right.
How bad is that when you have
That's-
screwed up a franchise so much that somebody goes and does that?
The funny thing too is there are so many Trekkies or anybody who likes Trek that have gone to the Orville and been like, this is Trek, this is what you do. Even the first season where there were more butt and fart jokes and shit like that, it was still the essence of how you would watch a Trek episode was there. And it's crazy because he wanted to do a Star Trek show and they wouldn't let him.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
So it's like, come
Well,
on.
I think that, and if I remember correctly, like that was why the second season's feeling a little bit more mature and grounded, because the first season he had quotas he had to hit for jokes.
Yeah.
Like he had stuff and he wasn't super happy about it, or when he did, he put them in. He made them really blatant and really dumb.
Yeah.
So essentially trying to get them to leave him alone for the next season, which I found interesting.
The first season was his test season to get past all of the bullshit like copyright and all that crap like that. Like it's marked as parody. No matter how serious it gets, it's still going to be a parody show now.
And
which is
wanted to
awesome.
prove that the concept would work too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been dying to watch it. I just
I'm like you. I haven't watched it yet, but everything I hear is really good.
Oh, it's really good.
I know some people tell me, the first season's tough, but I think that's because if it has some blatant, like just abnormal placement of humor, fine, I understand that. But when I first saw it, because for years I'd been following development of the Galaxy Quest TV series, and when I started hearing about the Orville, I wondered, because at the same time I stopped hearing about the Galaxy Quest one, I wondered if it had morphed into something else. And then as I read more, I found out what was going on. But yeah, I mean, again, when you screw something up so much, I mean, what is it? I can't remember the site, but there's a website that does Doctor Who episodes now, or they have for a while, that does it with I think it's one of the original like 5 or 6 doctors.
Really?
Talking about Big
Yeah.
Finish.
Yes, thank you, Big Finish.
I've not heard that.
They're basically doing,
Uh,
from what I've heard, and I have not watched it, they're
audio.
doing Doctor Who like Doctor Who should be done.
Oh, they have phenomenal writers. I can't. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So I mean,
It's funny because you see a lot of fan shit being made all the time. That's better than the shit these studios are putting out there. $1 million episodes or more, even with
I got a
Star Trek. I
question.
know for sure. So
I know that J.J. Abrams had problems with the movies because 2 people hold the license. Is that just the movies, or does that also apply to the TV show?
I believe that's just the movies.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, because that's why they're not like supposed to do the Kelvin timeline, I think, in TV at the moment. Otherwise, that's probably what Discovery would have been. It should have been, just to like keep shit separated a little bit. But
Discovery's over now, isn't it?
no, season 3 drops
Okay.
around Christmas time, I think.
Well, then they really should consider a way to figure out how to do that, because if something like that fixes issues, not all but some.
Season 3 jumps 900 years into the future.
Oh, Jesus.
So they're going in the last episode of Discovery season 2, they jumped into the future to get the ship out of that timeline. So now they're in 900 years into the future, which I think they're going based off a couple of the books where the Federation has like fallen apart and shit like that. There's no more Starfleet and stuff. So they're going to be like the ones from the past that help build it back up or some bullshit. I'm not sure exactly if that's the storyline they're going with, but that's what they did in some of the novels that they had done, which would be cool. However, the tone that they've already set is just, I don't know.
And
So-
since you're getting a 3rd season, I want you to know that I can make fun of you and Hannah now, because I put out something after I watched the trailer for Lower Decks or whatever, and then it got turned around and people started talking about Star Trek Discovery. Hannah comes running in and goes, "I did not realize that Star Trek Discovery, their acronym is STD." And I go, yeah, how did you not notice that? She goes, I don't know. I just didn't think about it. And I go, oh man.
Yeah. You got me with that too. And I was just like, what?
It blows my mind. I was like, how did you guys not notice that? Especially like now, like in the day and age where we like acronym everything, like Lord of the Rings is LOTR and, you know, and KOTB and all that shit, or KOTOR.
I still have to Google a lot of those too, though, because I'm just like, what the fuck are they talking about? That's just a bunch of leathers. Try and join the ABC club.
Calm down,
Oh,
Boomer.
wait, I shouldn't say that.
I see the Captain Pike show got a new name.
Did it?
Pike was too
What are they
offensive,
calling
right?
that one? I don't remember.
Strange New Worlds.
That's what it is. Strange New Worlds.
Okay,
Which
sure.
that's the one that I was telling you about, John, where they were talking about like having Kirk show up for bisexual thing. I'm like, he's not bisexual. He's pansexual, you dumbasses. Get it right.
He'll fuck anything that moves.
Right? They just
Allegedly.
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 Oh, it's one of those things. Like I saw the trailer for. I've watched the trailer for Lower Decks about 5 times now, just to see if there's anything, and there might be something, but I doubt that they're gonna focus on the more serious aspect that I saw in the trailer. Anyways, there was like one little spot where I was like, okay, this could be a serious storyline. And they're just using the humor to get dumb people in to watch the show.
How dare you?
Maybe. I'm still pissed off because I wish it was a cartoon for kids to bring kids into the Trek universe to try and grab younger audiences and stuff. That's how you use that cartoon. That's how you should use it anyways. Not to pander to like millennials that can't fucking understand the story.
Hey, Con, you sound like an 80-year-old man right now. You sound so old. And I'm like, I don't know. I just think
DS9 has some of the most compelling stories in the Star Trek universe, and people do not like. It's like one of the most underrated Trek shows besides Enterprise.
Like I said, it's just it's gonna suffer from this. It's like, who is your audience? And you can again, it's hard not to watch that and bring up Rick and Morty. Like it's just hard not to make the comparison.
If you watch Final Space, you'll see a lot more comparison with Final Space.
Oh yeah, well, but like either way, I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, it just seems like a strange thing to do with Star Trek. Like I think that's the biggest issue that everybody has. It's like, yeah, this could probably be good, but we're not. It just seems out of place.
That is a logical attitude.
But I mean, until you see it, it's just like, I don't know. Like it might be good, it might not, but I think they don't know who they're aiming for, and that's going to be their potential problem. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't think it doesn't look like the worst thing ever. It just looks really, I don't know, just out of place.
If they really wanted to go with Rick and Morty, couldn't they have just used Q?
Yeah, that would have been interesting, actually.
I just want them to use Q in anything fucking that they're doing.
I thought you didn't like alphabets. And I called them alphabets. They're letters, by the way. I'm a fucking hell. God damn it. Guys, I'm tired.
Well, that's because you were up till whatever time last night.
I think it was like 3:15 we ended that stream, dude.
Did
it went
they
like
keep
6
bragging
hours.
on you?
No, once I came back, it was fine. It was fun. It was fun.
Robert's a good guy. It's just you and I have the same effect on Robert. We say stuff and he just loses his shit.
I have that effect on everyone, my dude. But yeah, no, we ended up. God, it just evolved into madness. Terrence was trying to get us to stay up for a 10-hour. I'm like, fuck that. I gotta be up. I gotta be up for this one. And so I ended up going to bed at probably 4:30 last night.
See, Tibbs, you need to get on some of that shit.
Yeah, boy.
Your wife would yell at you even more.
Well, she doesn't yell at me.
Well, I mean, she didn't want you to do the one with
she'll browbeat you.
Oh, well,
Amelia.
She's just overprotective.
Amelia. I was like, Amelia.
Don't feel bad about saying alphabets earlier, because as a joke, I started calling vampires Draculas to piss off a friend of mine, and now it's become part of my vocabulary.
Oh man.
How do you kill
I
Draculas?
call Canada Canadia.
Canada.
Yes. It's
Well,
Canadian.
It's
So
because
Canada Dry. Is that the drink? then?
yeah.
Canada
Well, it's
Dry?
because we're not supposed to respect any of those people up the north.
A, A, B, C, D.
Oh, that's just mean. That's culturalist. I don't know. It's some kind of ism.
Well, of
I'm
course
sure.
it is. You should know.
Oh man. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh man.
Boys, my brain is pudding, so I need you guys to
It's
carry
pudding.
me across.
Pudding.
Apparently,
up,
there's
Puddin'?
a new Dracula
What's up,
in the
Puddin'?
works.
What about Dracula?
Apparently, there's a new one from Blumhouse being made.
How many fucking Dracula shit am I gonna have to watch?
See, I don't.
Didn't like BBC and Netflix
BBC
just do one?
Netflix did a 3-part series, which the first 2 are dope. The third one was just what the fuck. Well, they had to
Are
bring
you
it into
mental?
the present time. It was stupid.
Oh my god, is there really 2 people on this fucking panel with soundboards? I'm gonna fucking lose my anus.
I could play stuff too, but only I hear it.
Oh god. Oh my soul.
It's the return of the Dark Universe.
The return. All
The
the
Return of the
dark.
Dark Universe for the Dracula film from
Universe.
Blumhouse.
No, I was making a joke because
Oh,
they just
okay.
did the Invisible Man.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Invisible Man movie is
Well,
dope, man.
Yeah, I liked it. So that was all Universal Pictures originally, and they started it with the Mummy. Oh no, actually, they started it before the Mummy.
Yeah, the Dracula Returns or whatever.
The Dracula Untold,
Untold.
That's it, yeah.
which wasn't. I don't know. I didn't mind it. Just I don't think it fits in that lore. But I guess they were hoping it, and it kind of fell flat. Then they tried again with the Mummy, which introduced Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah,
and
Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
and they tried to throw in just about every reference to all the other ones in that movie, which totally screwed the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Spider-
when that movie flopped, they took all their other ones and they sold them off to lower, smaller studios.
Mhm.
And so the Invisible Man, though, I think shows that with thought, you can tell a different story, because originally the original one is told from the doctor's side of it.
Yeah.
And this one is told from somebody other. And I liked that concept.
Which it's kind of like that's what they did with Hollow Man, though, was they
Yeah.
told it from the perspective of everyone else but him, I think. So, yeah, seeing, oh my god, I gotta go rewatch that movie because I haven't seen it since it was in theaters. It was so good.
What?
The Invisible Man movie.
I've got it. Yeah, if you send me your email, I'll send it to you digitally.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Sexy.
Yeah. I swing that way.
I still have yet to rewatch Parasite at home because I'm like, I don't want it to be bad at home. I saw it twice in theaters and loved it. And I'm just like worried.
I've heard it only gets better with extra viewing. So
Really?
Isn't
If
the
it-
black and white one coming out soon?
Lighthouse is out. It's on
Oh.
like Amazon.
No,
or some
I
shit.
thought
The
I
black and
saw Austin post something about a black and white Parasite.
Oh, fuck that. That would be stupid. Don't do that. That's just.
I don't know. They're kind of fun. I remember I went back and rewatched Logan when they did the black and white cut of that. It really does feel different.
If the movie is shot
Hey,
for
guys.
color.
Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, man. If a movie is shot for color,
Mhm.
why make it black and white? It's like taking a black and white movie and turning it color.
You know,
Like-
we had this discussion with me and him the other day.
I know. I saw your guys' bullshit. I do not agree with that unless the creator is behind it. However, with Parasite, the thing that makes that movie great, besides the story, of course, is the color palette that it has throughout the entire thing. That sets the tone for most of the scenes. So turning it black and white, you're going to lose that impact, I feel.
Could you make the argument that you would get a different experience out of it? It just wouldn't be the
Maybe,
same thing.
But I'm telling you, like, that color palette for that whole movie is just beautiful. It's every scene has its specific set, and it's awesome.
Well, I imagine when it comes to costume design and set design and color choices and lighting and stuff, that is it's a pinnacle part of visual storytelling.
They spend so much time doing it.
Well, yeah, but also there are ways to light for both. It's kind of hard to do both, but I mean, if you have it in mind when you're doing it, because I know, I think it was James Mangold who did Logan. He had it in his mind to do a noir on top of that, and again, I think it's because you'll get something different. I think that's the whole point, is that you're supposed to watch it in a different fashion, because now you're not focusing in on the color palette, or you're not taking that in subconsciously, because it's black and white and there's not a lot of quote unquote distraction in the frame. You're going to probably spend more time looking at the character, probably staring at people's faces, their body language, and probably picking up on dialogue and stuff like that, because your brain's not bringing in color and interpreting that kind of stuff on top of it. I mean, would it be lesser? I don't know, but I think the whole intention is to watch it in a different way.
I would recommend then doing that. If they do that, watch it the original way first.
Oh yeah.
Then watch it in the secondary route that they decide to go. Whether they go black and white or fucking sepia tone or whatever like filter they want to toss over that bitch, you know. Because that way you can decide which is better.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like you're being pulled away from the black and white movie or the colored one because you saw it in black and white first. I don't know. That's just, I guess it's a perspective thing, like how you look at it and stuff. So there are some things I'll watch that have gone black and white after they were in color, but I've seen them in color, of course. Usually it's like a scene or so. It's kind of like watching fucking Clerks 2. It's black and white to color, and then back to black and white.
Or I mean, like Wizard of Oz, when you went from sepia to you get into a colorful world, and then you come back.
What were you gonna say, Tivis? What were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I just, over here.
Okay.
Thanks, Tivis. That was enlightening and wonderful. I appreciate it.
I actually have no problem watching stuff that's colorized, because I mean, doing it correctly, because you could go wrong so fast and look so rubbery, and I think it's an art form in itself. And I realize some directors, they don't want their stuff messed with, but a lot of the black and white directors, they're not around anymore, so who's to say what they really want?
Yeah, I always say I don't mind like visual altercations for the most part. It's when you start to change what's like, it sounds really hypocritical. It's really hard to like be specific on what I kind of mean, is like when you start changing things that make you perceive the storyline and the world a little bit different. Because like with the black and white thing, it's more of an aesthetic while you're watching it and kind of how you're working with it. But then you have something like Star Wars is always my favorite example because of all the remastering that they do. You have these moments where it's like, like they put extra rocks in front of R2-D2. I'm like, okay, that just seems like a weird, like, why do that? It's distracting. Or like adding extra animals and character goofy shit in the background. Or like the worst is the singing band thing, and I think it was Return of the Jedi.
Altered the whole
at Jabba's palace. Oh my god. And it's just so distracting. And it's like, now you've not only changed the way it was like paced from the original way that people liked, you have now created questions and stuff in the scene now and altered it to a point where it's not just, oh, it looks better, or, oh, there's different colors here. It's, oh god, now I'm thinking about the universe in a different way, and I don't like here and here. And now I've become like distracted and pulled out when that wouldn't have happened in the original thing. So I don't know if it sounds too hypocritical. I'm trying to kind of throw it out there, but it's saying. It's
and I mean,
strange.
even some of the changes they did in Star Wars are for the better.
Yeah.
Which whenever anyone craps on them, I'm like, well, not all of them are terrible. I mean, that scene where he first speaks to the Emperor, that is so much better with the new effects.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's just like, there are certain things that just needed it. Like, the ships and the lightsabers and, like some of the battles and stuff, and maybe even like some background stuff. Fucking hell. I will take McClunky over. No.
Yeah.
That one hurt me.
I don't know why the Ewoks need to blink. It never bothered me before.
Yeah, now it bothers me because it's something I never thought about, and now I can't unsee it. It's like a nightmare. So,
And I'm back again.
Oh,
Sorry.
good. Don't worry, we didn't miss you.
The audio people don't care.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, audio people. We still love you. Actually, like I never listen to this on YouTube. It's only audio.
Yeah.
I think I'm a
I
dirty
always
person.
listen on iTunes. So yeah. But we have 2,500 people that are continuously listening every week to the episodes.
Those
somehow-
poor people.
You're
Why are
welcome.
you listening to us?
People, if you're out
Shout
there,
out.
can you show us some love with the comments? Because
Or join us in
I
the
don't-
Facebook group. I'm tired of being the only one talking.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
join Tivis in the Facebook group because we don't do anything in there anymore.
I barely do it because I feel like I just annoy everyone.
Operation Babble or some shit like that.
Or
But
tell me
no,
how much I suck on Twitter. That's always
find
the best
us
way.
on Twitter because 2,500 people on Twitter would be nice. And we could show up some other assholes on there.
Oh man. No, it's more because like I would just like to know like what everybody thinks or like if we're pacing things right or do you want us to talk about specific topics, maybe go
Right.
more in depth and stuff. Because I'm a guy who really likes to overanalyze a film.
Mhm.
Like some of the best panels is when everybody knows like we all watched it, we all know exactly what happened, and we can all jump on the nuances and get perspective because we all watch movies just a little bit different just because of
Right.
because of
we
inherently who we
are.
are. And so everybody will there's
We are
always something
humans.
there's always something
Humans.
somebody's gonna miss. You know what I mean? Like even
Yeah.
if you're watching intently, we're gonna miss something or miss a nuance that we wouldn't have thought to
Yeah.
even consider. So it's nice to get perspective. I
Yeah.
I like it. It makes shit way more interesting.
Right. We need to know what to talk about because
Yeah.
why
Well,
why
Here's
else
a
unless you guys want to hear about Joel Schumacher's 20,000 again. I mean,
oh my god, because I
Or
have
the terrible romance that's going on in soap operas, where they bring in their significant others instead of using the actors that they're supposed to be with.
no don't do,
What?
don't do it.
What?
Yeah.
Like so they can shoot them or something? Like not shoot them, but like
Whoa.
shoot the scenes.
Yeah, it's part of their safety precaution. They're the first people to be back in entertainment is soap operas, and
Yeah.
Oh,
That
They're
was in
doing-
Australia, right?
no, it's one of the, maybe it is. I know
I
it's an
think
American show, but
The first one that went back into production was in Australia. I know that for sure.
Just what?
the fact that they have their significant others may look nothing like the person they're supposed to be with, and how is that? It's hilarious to think about.
Right.
What is it?
amazing.
For soap operas they're back to
Oh.
shooting. Yeah.
Well, that's
So,
yeah.
so you're telling me that they'll shoot the scene, and then when it comes to like the makeout part or like a love scene, they just swap the actress out for their significant other?
I mean
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
what
body
you're
That's
doing.
doubles.
fucking hilarious.
like,
That's fucking hilarious.
but
Well, and I think I heard their original idea was even better, and I think they should have stuck with it.
Ooh, tell me.
Blow up dolls.
Yay! I would watch that.
They're in sports arenas.
I would like to ask right now when I'm allowed to get an Operation Babble mug. You know, talk shows normally allow their guests to have the
you
logoed mug
Wait,
so they
you
can
didn't
put
get
their
one yet?
water.
I'm holding one.
So, fuck your.
you can get them when we get them. How about
Yeah,
that?
no
listen. I expect it because then I don't have to have water in it. I can put whiskey and other things in it. That's why you get the, you know,
Or you could be a man and just drink some Surge.
dude. I drank them out of business the first time around.
God. I heard
Yeah.
it strike your penis.
I'm gonna
may-
take off here in a couple minutes, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, man. Do you have anything that you want to add to this before you head out?
No, nothing really relevant.
No other curses to put on villagers.
If you want to hear the rest of that, we'll talk after.
Oh God.
I'm intrigued.
It's just put two and two together. You hear a crying baby, just assume someone took a poop. There you go. And not the baby.
Nice.
Baby did not do it. Again,
Nice.
just it's better. I'm sure it's better in your head than anything I could tell you.
Lots of things
No.
are better.
Oh man, ain't that the truth?
So if you want an Operation Babble mug, Tivis and Chris and John,
Yes.
I will design one on Teespring and y'all can just go fucking buy it yourself.
Whoa. No, you see, that's not how this works. I don't get paid for this, so you
I
can
think
sit. No.
John's the only one that's gotten free swag, right? Like stickers.
I got
and
my
that's it.
stickers. Yeah, I
Yeah.
put one on my headphone and I put one on my car that I ended up having to
I
scrap.
bought my wife some shirts to wear to the gym and
That's
myself
some
a shirt.
advertisement.
So yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
You know what?
That's about it.
I do have something. Why is
Oh,
it
go.
called live action when it's never live?
Because the people are alive.
Okay, your
yeah.
fucking laugh with the Vince McMahon.
Yeah, it
Genie
is really
doll freaked
creepy.
Me out. Oh,
I think
man.
I think that should be Timus's avatar from now on.
Right.
Beautiful avatar.
It freaks me out.
Even when you get a camera, you should like get the doll and just like
or take that picture and have somebody make that mask.
yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be horrific.
I'm sure somebody has that mask. All right, Vince McMahon himself probably has that fucking mask on his desk right now.
Oh my god, that's
Well, the
horrifying.
puppet's probably sitting on his T-Rex skull.
Right. He probably
Mhm.
uses that. You're fired.
I would totally buy a T-Rex skull. Just saying.
He has a T-Rex.
Are we on the
skull.
things we would spend too much money on again?
Oh god. I don't want to hear more about the Turbo Man doll.
You guys, I was listening to that part, and that really made me want to be on your show last night. Like, I
Why,
was
you got an
fucking
opinion on it?
toys, toys everywhere, motherfucker.
What are you
Turbo
talking
Man
about? What are you talking about? I've never seen you buy a toy.
somewhere.
I've never.
I've
bought
seen
a
you
toy
buy
in my life.
collectibles. What makes it a toy? What makes it a collectible? That's one that we.
Fair.
If you
tackled
collect
before.
it, it's a collectible.
What makes it a toy?
What if it's a
A
collectible
toy is a collectible too.
Can I make a toy a collectible?
Do you play with a collectible?
I don't play with the ones that I collect that I keep in box, but these guys back here that are not in box, I collect, and I can still play with them.
Do you ever like sit down and actually play with them?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I see the Darth helmet. Or the
What?
from Spaceballs. I'm trying to remember what his name is for sure. Is it Darth helmet?
I'm pretty sure it's Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's why it never sounds right when you say it. But when Darth helmet's sitting there playing with the Spaceballs characters,
Mhm.
Yeah.
do you know the reason for that scene
Oh god.
and the
No.
reason for the merchandising scene in that movie? Because George Lucas, when Mel Brooks approached him to do that movie, George Lucas said, "Yeah, guys, go right ahead, do it. Great idea, but you cannot make any merchandise for your movie." So they made this whole scene about showing merchandise, and that's also why he has the action figures.
Mhm.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So
Neat little meta moment.
So they can't
Yeah.
make. So he couldn't make any. They didn't make toys for Spaceballs.
originally, I don't think so. I don't know if they have anything out there now or not.
Etsy it. It's on Etsy.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well,
fine.
Probably.
Well, hold on. Let's see
The
here.
only fucking place I can find Bebo. I want me a fucking Bebo doll, but I don't want to pay $30 for it.
It's actually like how big is that? Actually, doesn't seem like a bad price for
Only
something.
like that big.
Still though, for
But
something
I can
that's not
buy-
being mass made.
I can buy the crochet kit
It's
or the
ridiculous.
crochet pattern for like $3, and then just have Nick make it.
All right, guys, I gotta take off.
All right, man. Thank you for joining today.
Such good shit.
Oh my god, so scary.
All right. Sorry I couldn't chat with you longer, Chris.
You're good. One of these days.
Later.
All right, later, man.
Bye. I waved for people who can't see me.
Let's get a camera, damn it.
Oh shit. The audience. I'm seeing some Spaceballs toys.
Well, I saw that, but hold on.
They're probably like the pop figures and shit like that. Do they have
Hold
those?
on.
No, they look like those they look like the old like bullshit ones that like they first came, you know, it has just like the picture of them and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to explain. You guys would know what I mean. It's like the cardboard backing with the little plastic
You
front.
guys know.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about when it comes to twice.
Nobody knows anything about toys here, John.
Oh.
Yeah,
Guys.
here you go. George Lucas gave his conditional blessing. Satire is generally exempt from litigation, but Brooks was an admirer of Lucas's work and wanted to get his permission before starting on the movie. Working on a funny film of his own with Howard the Duck, Lucas agreed, but only on the condition that no Spaceballs merchandising be available. So anything you see is probably not officially licensed.
Right.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, little things like that. And like, yeah, when I first was, following up on stuff about Spaceballs and I wanted to know more about it, I had read that I guess you could see that he loved Star Wars, the way he presented that film, because I mean, the sets were pretty cool looking. He did try, but it was kind of interesting to me that he loved it. I mean, he was really an admirer of what Lucas had done with Star Wars, so it was that's why he went to him.
Well, it's weird how that works, because the things that parody it seem to have a more like love for the original craft than the fucking people who own it now. It's really strange.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like the example would be Robot Chicken. Like they're like not only their Family Guy stuff, like the Family Guy parody, but the Robot Chicken parody.
Yeah. Did you have you heard about how the not Robot Chicken, but the Family Guy trilogy came about?
The Blue Harvest one, or
well, it's called Blue Harvest, but it's something Dark Sided was the first one, I think, then I don't know. There's three different names. Blue Harvest is the last one. You know why it's called, the last one was called Blue Harvest? Blue Harvest was the name that they put on all of the clapper cards and everything for Return of the Jedi, because they were shooting up in the Redwood, hills and stuff like that in San Francisco and around that area. They were shooting the movie there, and they didn't want people just to show up on set because it was a Star Wars movie. So they put Blue Harvest. And later on, George Lucas said that worked about as well as, putting water on water. I mean, it was like just, they knew anyways. It was kind of funny. Creator of Family Guy,
Seth MacFarlane.
Thank you. Oh, anyways, Seth MacFarlane really loves Star Wars, and he'd been doing these little jokes in the show, and one day they're sitting there, they're coming up with some more stuff, and more jokes for Star Wars are coming up, and he kind of just in the middle of this roundtable thing where they're talking about the next script or whatever, says, guys, we probably should check with Lucasfilm that we can do this stuff before they shut us down, or before they tell us, take that out, go back, redo all of those episodes you put shit in and take it out. He says, so I'm going to call, and we're going to try to figure out if we can do this. And so he calls Skywalker Ranch to try to get a hold of George Lucas, who at the time was still in charge. And he gets the secretary. He says, my name's Seth MacFarlane, and I was wondering if there was a way that I could talk to George Lucas. And she says, well, hold on just a second. Puts him on hold, and literally, he said, a couple minutes later, George Lucas picks up, no appointment, no need, whatever, picks it up, and he's like, hey, Mr. Lucas, I just want to let you know I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I hope you're not offended by any of the stuff we're doing. And they got into this, he said, quite an extensive conversation about how George Lucas loved everything they were doing, gave his complete blessing to do whatever they wanted to do. That's why they did the trilogy. They literally went 3 episodes to do that. And I think they were on TV, but they were severely edited to take out some of the funniest stuff. Cause I have them on, I got tons of digital copies of everything. But I have it digitally, and there's some extra stuff in there that's kind of funny. But that's how we got those.
Oh yeah.
Just goes to show you, always check. Just check, because sometimes you'll find that they love what you're doing.
Yeah, passion, man. Just find somebody who gives a shit about the lore and stuff, and then because you're gonna get the normies in the seats anyway. So why not make it for the fevered fans?
This is me and John have talked about this before. It's like, why not hire some of the fans, the fan writers out there that are doing fan fiction shit to write your shit, you know? Like,
Well, like I
show
said,
me my stuff.
Star Trek is totally. I mean, they've thrown people out of the CBS offices for coming in with stuff.
Yeah.
And why? How in the world are you going to do that and expect people to like what you're doing? Because if you're pissing fans off, and that's the thing. I mean, I didn't absolutely hate the new Star Wars trilogy. It just doesn't come across as a trilogy to me because it's not connective.
Yeah.
But it just, there's no heart in it. That heart you felt at the end of, I mean, when you see Luke and Leia sitting on the medical frigate at the end of Empire Strikes Back, and the music comes in and all that, there is that sense of hope. You feel the same thing. And I think we went over, I did a movie talk yesterday with a guy about how music can help your mood and stuff. And I mean, it's all of the stuff you have in those movies just doesn't fit together well. And I mean, and again, then there's the Rise of Skywalker. Jeez.
It just all felt like a product. It all just felt like an assembly line that wasn't working. Like it was didn't have a foreman in there, you know?
Yeah, it's like, how is it that the square hole is a round hole? That die is square. Who the hell put a round? How did this happen?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about dice. Why would you give the dice? Why would you give the? Yeah, like, still what? Why would you give the dice to fucking Leia? I can't stand it. It makes no sense.
Dude, the only good thing that I took away from the new series, the new trilogy, quote unquote series, was Babu Frick. That's my man. That's my man.
Yeah. So, how many of you guys think the dice were in the original cut?
I heard it was decorating it, but it wasn't actually like a thing.
Yeah. They were there, and it was a subplot line that never was written or anything, but they're in the original 77 cut. And I know a lot of people think that they went back and digitally added them, but no, I have the 77 cut, and they're in there.
No, I'm talking more the idea. Han Solo like recontextualized so many things that the scene in Last Jedi when Luke gives Leia the dice, it feels extremely insulting.
But that was after the Solo movie too, right? Was that?
I think Solo came. Solo came out.
Point?
Yeah, Solo came out after Last Jedi.
And didn't he get those dice from another woman too?
That's what I'm saying.
Wasn't that the whole thing?
They were Kira's.
Yeah.
It was like a trinket that he decorated the speeder with.
And I can't remember. I think they were his, and she just had them. I don't know. Like all women, she had her man's dice
in her pocket.
Maybe that's what it was. Like they were in his car or something when they were trying to escape, and then she got them, and then she gave them back to him or some bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think the gesture is there to say, you know, he's always with you. We don't always lose everybody, but I don't know. I mean,
I would have just been like, just don't give her anything and just say I miss him too, and then we'd have been done.
Well, again, it was done horribly with the fact that once you find out that he's not really there. I mean, great scene.
That's also not too.
I like that scene, but when he's not really there, it's like, dude, you had a way to go back and you didn't do it, and then you're like, oh, you know, okay, I'll just do this the cheating way. I'll just go and force project myself. I liked all the thought behind it. I loved the force projection add-in. I love the extra force features we see. I just think they're, again, contrived and they're not used well. When you go back and you think about it, it's like, here's and again, I like The Last Jedi, but I will agree with people who say that, you know, not my Luke, all that stuff. Luke Skywalker was your hero for the first trilogy, and this man doesn't even see a need to come back. Instead, he's sitting on an island going like, I'll just, all right, I'm there.
I came here to die.
Yeah, it's like,
also, how did people not realize that it was a force projection? I didn't buy that at all, that he was there, because he was holding his lightsaber that got ripped in half like a scene or two earlier.
Yes, and then and then also the other fact was, you know, his hair Like, where's the barber?
I was like, I could have maybe given him that because I'm like, okay, maybe he cleaned himself up for the fight, but I'm like, that just seems really stupid.
Yes,
Like,
at the Octu barber shop.
hey man, he had all those fish nuns. I'm sure they could groom him perfectly.
Oh
fine.
man, God, could you stop?
Did you not, fish lady?
God, man, watch the locks. God,
It's like,
it took me 30 years to make this.
I'm surprised they didn't slit his throat after Yoda blew up the fucking temple. They're like,
Yeah.
it was our only job here. You blew it up. And then could you imagine like Luke trying to like describe to them? Like, no, seriously, there was this old puppet. He's a ghost. He's been dead for a really long
my
time.
my master that I know I've told you is dead, but he comes back. They get this blue glow, and he was sitting there talking to me. I mean, I even felt it hit me in the head, and then he points, and it's just lightning. And they're looking at him going like,
all right, crazy old man. You really are a crazy old
get the fuck off of our island.
The boob juice that he drank is it's a hallucinogenic.
But
But
they sell that shit at Disney World.
of course they do. Have to.
Yes.
You think so?
Can I squeeze
Do you
it
think
fresh
that
out of the
this-
tit?
Do you think the dispensers look like this?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, do I have to pay extra for it if I get it straight from the tap? It's fucking hell.
Probably.
And see, in between that and then Rise of Skywalker, when Luke catches the lightsaber and then raises the X-Wing, it really poses the question, at what point, what's the point of being alive? Like, at this point, you're more powerful as a ghost. I would just be a ghost.
Mm.
Because I can interact with
like
the
as
physical
soon as
world.
you become a Jedi, you're like, okay, somebody kill me now, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Can you, someone strike me down in anger, please?
Here, who? Come on. You'd be going around to like every bounty hunter and every freaking
Which, if they're all coming back as Force ghosts like that too, where are all the other Jedis that got killed off in the first series, second trilogy?
The way that they play that is they make no, because that doesn't work because Qui-Gon already died. They said that Qui-Gon was like one of the first ones to figure it out, and then they fucked that up anyway because Mace Windu was there too. Fuck yeah.
well, yeah. There's some theory behind it. I don't know.
Didn't they put Mace Windu in like another edit or some bullshit?
He's one of the
original?
voices.
He's one of the
No,
voices.
when they remastered the original series on the third one,
No,
I think didn't they
I don't
add
think so.
more fuckers into that?
I don't think so.
mm-mm.
Hmm.
They just changed the guy who played Darth Vader when the mask was revealed. They changed him to
the
Hayden
kid,
Christensen.
Yeah.
God, that was weird.
It's like, so why are these other two still old?
Still old.
And I mean,
yeah.
I understand you could go back, and God forbid, because they're still doing edits to this day. The
I know.
McClunky thing. The
I can't
McClunky thing.
believe it.
What the hell was the McClunky thing?
They're just-
McClunky!
I think it's just they're always constantly trying to find a way to make it not look like Han's an asshole. Or like a
Cut out
but
your
he's-
new scene and just put the old scene back in.
Yeah. It's like they literally call him a scoundrel for fuck's sake.
Well,
Come on.
and you know, George Lucas defended this, saying, "Well, I just wanted to show he wasn't a bad person." I'm like, no, take the situation. A guy is pointing a gun to your head. You don't want to die, and so who's going to shoot first?
Yep.
I am.
Yep.
There's nothing bad about that. That is a in-moment thing. Think of, and I don't know if you guys were ever in the military, but if you've ever been in the military, think of it when you get in your first fight with a gun, you're shooting, you don't care who's on the other end
Mhm.
because they're shooting right back at you. It doesn't matter who shoots first because it is I want to live, and that's it. And in that moment, in that small moment in Star Wars, that's what's going through his head. Is "Oh, screw that! You're not going to kill me. You're not taking me back to this guy either because I'm not ready because I don't have the money and I know what he'll do to me."
Well, don't they also, when they remastered that shit and they switched that, didn't they also add in the fucking scene where Han Solo's talking to Jabba?
Yeah.
Right after that, almost.
Yeah.
Or was it like right
No,
before?
it's
or
right
some
after
bullshit?
because
I was like, why?
he goes to
why?
get the ship ready.
Yeah. I was like, that makes no sense either.
Well, it doesn't. Again, the fact that he cut it out of the original cut because, well, he
Right.
will tell you he cut it out because he didn't have the proper ability
Effects.
to make this creature he wanted
Yeah,
there.
because it was just some big dude in like
Yeah.
some
Which,
fucking coats and shit.
I mean,
like
I
that.
guess he could have been Jabba. That would have been fine, but he didn't want to do that. So
Right.
he cuts it out and he puts it back in. The scene doesn't hurt anything, but it doesn't help anything. I mean, the best part of that scene is you see Boba Fett. I don't know. I can go upstairs. I won't do it right now though. There's a guy I've had on my channel a few times now, and I honestly, I would tell you guys to get him on, except for he's an older guy, so he's pretty straight laced about things, and so I know we're kind of freeform here. I don't know how it would go, but I would really suggest if you guys could make a nice line serious, because that's just kind of how he is. John Celestri, he was a big part of Filmation. He drew a lot of the He-Man cartoons and stuff like that. Well, he was the one who actually did the first drawing of Boba Fett, and the first view we ever got of Boba Fett was from the Star Wars Christmas special, the holiday special. But he did that drawing. I have a drawing he did handmade or hand drew for me up here with his book that he did on Indiegogo. But it's kind of cool that we get our first look of Boba Fett in that movie right then. So again, no context of who he is, nothing like that. I don't hate the scenes that they add in. It's just the movie worked beforehand. I mean, have you guys ever heard about how bad that first edit that he ever had was?
Yeah, I heard about not from him personally, but through other sources.
There's a thing on YouTube called Star Wars Saved in the Edit. Watch it. It's freaking amazing. His wife and two other editors, they had just fired their editing team after the first viewing, and his wife and a couple others locked themselves in an editing room for a weekend, or at the hotel. I forget. They were doing it just totally like pirate, guerrilla editing, I guess is what you would call it.
Style.
Yeah, it was just weird because they went through and recut the whole film, cut out a whole bunch of stuff, and it just made the movie totally different. And
whenever I hear about any of these like directors and writers and shit just locking themselves into a hotel room for like a weekend or a month or a couple weeks, I'm like, hell yeah, that's how you should do it. Like, there's no distractions. You can literally have your food delivered. I mean, now you can have it delivered directly to your house from anywhere anyway. So, but there's so many distractions at your house. So
did you know George Lucas was so scared that it was going to be a flop that he and Steven Spielberg and George's wife all flew out to Hawaii and spent the weekend in Hawaii? He didn't even go to the and that's where we got Indiana Jones, actually, is from that trip. What other things?
Yeah, because they called him and told him about the lines and shit like that for the movie, which is pretty dope. He's like, I didn't even expect it.
When it was big hit over here in the States, he decided he was going to finally go to a premiere. He went to a premiere in, I want to say, Tokyo, Japan. He went there, watched the movie, and at the end, everybody got up and left. No clapping, no nothing. And he looked at the guy he was there with. And I guess he probably had an interpreter or something. I don't know who it was, but there was a guy that he was with. He looked at him and says, "What went wrong?" And the guy looked at him and says, "Nothing." He says, "In Japan, silence is the best form of compliment you can get." And he's like, oh, okay. it was like a rounding applause here was what they gave him. And it's just, I mean, again, also, since we're just on the kick of Star Wars for a second, it's kind of amazing that a production that was as flawed as Jaws is what actually gave us Star Wars. The fact that Jaws ever got made, the fact that it ever got the acclaim it did, because the scenes you get in that movie, while they're awesome, are not the scenes they wanted to give you. The scene of the barrels being pulled by the shark, That was only done because they couldn't get the shark to work. You were supposed to see the shark right then. So when you think about it, it works better the way they did it, but that was not what they wanted to do. So all the fuck ups that happened during that, just the fact that they would have to reset their boat out in the middle of the ocean because a sailboat came across the horizon, and it took them 30 minutes to do that. All that shit.
Well, limitations force you to be creative and problem solve. And
exactly. And I think that's the difference is these days, studios just write a check and they say, here you go. Oh, you need how much for CGI? Why do you need that much CGI? Oh, well, because this and this and this and this. Basically, they're telling them, well, we can't do this practically. Well, they did it back then.
Well, here's an extra $2 million for C-47s. There you go.
It's like, let's back off of the CGI budget unless you can absolutely show you can't do it practically. Right. Or can't do it practically, make it look good. Because okay, I'm on board, and John, I know you are too. The idea now that they might have done stop motion with Jurassic Park, I don't think it would have come across as well. Now I know that it may have looked good, but it wasn't going to do what they did with CGI. But the thing is the CGI they used in that was only used where they had to use it.
Well, and also they had animatronics. I mean,
The whole T-Rex paddock scene is,
and the raptors, like they're dudes in suits with the puppets and stuff. It's like knowing that it's there, it's just like, it's, even if it gets a little weird, you just let that go. It's like, of course, like most of us will go, ooh, that looked bad. But then when it cuts back to the thing that's physical, you're like, oh, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they earned my suspension of disbelief.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If studios, and again, this always goes back to studios first and foremost, if studios would stop just handing money to fix things and say, you can do this. They used to do this. Go call somebody who has done this in the past. Go call up Brian Henson and see if he can't make you a puppet. I mean, it's something.
It's like, fucking hell, did you not?
I think the original Ninja Turtle movie is still like on par with everything. It's such a fucking good movie, first of all.
Yeah.
Even if you take away me being a turtle fan, the way they shot that movie, the way it looks is still magnificent, even on Blu-ray. But now you go and watch the new Turtle stuff, it's just it's already outdated. The CG is just horrid. And it's actually one thing I'm worried about with the Batman Pattinson movies is they said that they're scrapping all their on-site shots and shooting in a studio. They say they're building the stuff, but I'm like, how much are you building? How much are you CGing? Because I just watched 89 Batman and then Batman Returns, and those were shot in a studio.
Yep.
But they didn't have as much CG bullshit. They used what are those things called?
Matte paintings.
Matte paintings. Yes, thank you.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
I
want people.
Hold on. Go ahead, talk.
I want people. I really want people to watch the Alien documentary Memory. Like, I did not realize how much set building they did.
Oh God, yeah.
It's It's so crazy.
Is it on a streaming service yet, or is it just like?
I found it on a plane. I imagine.
Fucking take a plane ride to watch it.
Well, I mean, you could. Get your miles in. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. I would imagine
at the airport tomorrow.
Yeah, it's called Memory, the origin of Alien. I'm sure it's floating around
somewhere. Probably on Amazon.
I would assume either HBO or Amazon right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's on Hulu. But it was just really good, and it's like I just miss the practical stuff of back then. I get some of it still doesn't look like in Terminator 1 when Arnie has to rip his eye out. I understand that didn't quite hold up, but I appreciated the attempt.
I'm looking for it. I'll find it and send it to you guys. There's this guy that before they tore it all down that actually got him and his friend like snuck onto the old Pinewood Studios. The 89 Batman set was there for years after, and he has all these cool pictures, like the sarcophagus he puts his suit in was still there, a whole bunch of that stuff. The matte paintings and stuff like that were just amazing for that.
Computer's dying.
I mean, Lord of the Rings got away. I mean, shit. Even Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, the first season did a lot of shit. You all right there, Mike?
System just died.
You're what?
Oh. Hi, Chris. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
So what do you got? You got anything else going on today? Any other streams, or is this it?
I don't know yet. I might
Sleep and catch up. Sleep and catch up.
Maybe. I don't know. Never know about that. No. I speaking of production design and stuff like that, watch the Blade Runner stuff. Blade Runner, everything was practical. Everything was practical, and it's so crazy the crap they did on that.
Well, and it's just like when it's there, it even gives you, like, especially when you're shooting on film and you're doing all this stuff, we've seen how easy it is to remaster and upgrade. When it's actually there, it gives you the chance to polish it a little bit better. When you already have crappy CGI, throwing worse CGI on it is like a nightmare. Like, as much as I love Infinity War, I think it's a fantastic film. It's just gonna go the way of that's just not gonna look good in like 10 years. Just because so much of it is CGI. But I mean, it's still good, but I just, it's one of those things where it's just not going to stand the test of time.
Marvel plays things fast and loose, very fast and loose when it comes to CGI. It's so much so that I think it's just the quickest polish they can put on it, and then boom, here, put it out. But
it's why some of the more grounded ones, I think, are really just going to live up to scrutiny down the road. Like, I think Iron Man 1, like, pretty much Winter Soldier, Civil War. I'd probably say some of those ones. I still maintain I think Thor is going to hold up really well down the road just because of all the practical things that they did, and like a lot of their world they put a lot of extra attention into. Like Asgard still looks really good right now. I would say like because Thor Ragnarok might have a problem because the opening scene didn't even look particularly that good. I'm very curious. I think Captain America, the first Avenger, will get away with stuff because they made theirs look like old-timey film. I always tell people that the beginning and like some of the aesthetic that they do during all the war stuff and like at the beginning, it really made me feel like I was watching The Rocketeer or like an old like Indiana Jones film. The way that they made like, so it was almost, it sounds really dumb, but it's almost like their CGI almost looked intentionally already outdated. So you could just buy it in their time frame. So if you ever watched an older movie like The Rocketeer or something like that, it would feel, or like the what was it, The Shadow with fucking Alec Baldwin, it would already kind of feel like that. So I think it might get a pass down the road. That's I do again always think that Captain America 1 is a little underrated. I enjoy that film.
I love Captain America.
It's just good shit. Shit. But
I sent the link in the chat. These pictures, man, it's like crazy stuff. Yeah, it's and of course the pictures they're showing is without the matte paintings around it and stuff like that, but it's
studios, holy shit, it looks like an amusement park.
It does. It's like, wow. I mean, people like you and I probably would just get such a kick out of it because, well, I would love to have done this, just walked around and taken pictures.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm an abandoned, I'm an abandoned places type guy anyways, but movie sets, like, come on.
They're cool, man. And it's just, and it's sad because like backlots used to be a thing, so you could like dress them up and change them up, but nowadays they just build it and people just all use it. And it's like, oh, I've seen that building in 4 shows already.
This was actually after this was way after the fact. I can't remember when he says that they went and found all this, but this was off of the set of Pinewood. It's on their property, but it's away from everything. They built this all just for this movie and Batman Returns.
And it's like, I'm just looking at, like, I mean, the attention to detail is just so fucking crazy. Like, they built statues and they built, just like all things you expect to see in a city, but even just like, it's got to be even stranger because it's on such a grandiose scale. Like, buildings look bigger and wider and taller and grungy. It's so even like they painted cars like full of graffiti and stuff just to leave on the guys. Looks fucking. I might have to watch these Batman movies again.
Yeah, I know.
Shit is so good.
Yeah, but then you look at the parts where only half of the building's there, and then you look at the pictures that they show from the movie. And you're like, oh my God, all that was matte painting. It's like, wow, these guys were amazing. I mean, because the skilled art of matte painting is gone.
Mhm.
It's like, screw it, we'll just CGI it. No, come on.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's weird because it tends to be, it could be an aesthetic within itself. I think as much as I didn't like La La Land, like the scene with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling when they're tap dancing and they sit on the bench and stuff under the streetlight, that looks like a matte painting. And then like a perfect example would be Greatest Showman. Like they use that matte painting aesthetic, that old timey feel to really enhance it, because now it feels more like a movie. The only thing I would say is Greatest Showman could have really done well if it had been made like a couple decades ago, so they could have had real animals.
Yeah, true.
As much as I understand that like working with animals can be kind of a problem. Yeah. I liked old movies where animals were actually being used on set. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. You know what, PETA? Yeah. Animals have done this for years. As long as the treatment behind the scenes is okay and the treatment on scene, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
I love this picture where they have the bat symbol that he's laying back on that he used in the opening. And yeah, the fact that they still have like some of the cars there.
It's just cool. It just looks like a world that was lived in. It's interesting to see that. You just have to get more immersed as an actor and stuff too. Like you just have to.
Just this type of stuff inspires you. I mean, like I love writing and thinking of stuff to do movies, like movie ideas and things like that. So when I see stuff like this, I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Well, and that was one of the things that I've always talked about with movies is that you're essentially in your mind, like on the basis, on the basic fundamentals of old movie making, you were trying to find the best of the best in all of these different fields. You found the best painters and drawers for, artists for concept art. And then you had to go find the best lighting team and gaffer, the people, electricians who understood how to wire these big elaborate sets, and like these really good engineers and stuff who would build these sets. And it's like you have all of these different elements that we use in a very like I don't even know how to say it. It's just, it feels like it's almost like turning something that's really essential for our day-to-day lives as humans in our society, like people who build homes and hotels and people who make music and entertain us just on a daily basis. Now you're using it all for one purpose, and that isn't to create this story to give to other people. And when you think about all those people that are in a room, all the conversations they're probably having to do something like this, I don't know. It feels like you have all these geniuses playing in this really awesome sandbox, and people wanted to be a part of that. And nowadays, I feel like everybody, it's like, okay, you have this little, they try to do it with the least amount of people as possible. It's like the credits you see are all just a bunch of people who sat in front of a computer doing CGI. And I know that's not every movie, but lately it feels that way, and it's kind of sad.
No, and you look at these, and another thing this little article here gives you is there's a whole scene or a whole group of pictures where they start pointing out how many scenes were shot in the exact same spot, but because of the camera angle, you don't know that.
Yep. And yeah, it's like, oh, that diner is right around that corner, and you didn't even know it.
Look, yeah, in the hotel that his parents got shot in front of is right here. But if you pull back and we show you the full picture, you'll see all the other places that were right there that were in the film that you didn't feel like that scene was in the same spot.
Like, because I'm looking at this and it's like, yeah, Gotham City is a fake city, so they change up their aesthetic. But then if you go watch Ghostbusters, that's just New York, but they still built certain sets to, to give it a little bit of extra oomph. And it's just like little things like that where it's like, oh no, using the actual thing's not good enough. We need it to be more grandiose. One of my biggest jokes that I think about, or not necessarily a joke, but one of the little hints that I always enjoyed about something like Lord of the Rings with their attention to detail was that for like a lot of, I don't know if they did it for everything. I'm pretty sure they did. Ian McKellen already had a big nose, but they wanted a bigger nose on him so it was more prominent. So they actually had to put prosthetic on him to make his nose a little bit bigger. And I go, man, that just seems like something like from anybody like outside of the industry would be sitting like, why bother? That seems like such a hassle for something. And it's like, for all we know, it would have been really weird to punch in on Ian McKellen and like his face might not feel right because he's a more grandiose character. I like little shit like that.
Yeah.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, my system is all fucked up over here.
Done. Breaking shit.
All right,
Can computers get corona?
probably. Oh boy.
We're glad you're back though.
I've been listening in. I could hear you guys. I just couldn't fucking do anything.
Well,
Look at
I
that
just put my
blabber.
earpiece in. So,
Beautiful.
all right. So Batman. Dope.
yeah. In the chat.
Yeah.
I put that article in there, and I mean it's amazing that
It's
stuff.
it's really cool.
And then the last picture's down at the bottom, where it shows the whole set area. It's still massive.
Mhm.
It is massive, people. Pinewood is probably one of the best freaking. If you could go see any studio in the world still today, Pinewood is still one of the best ones. It's where so many things are shot that people don't know about.
Pinewood in Atlanta.
No,
It's
it's London. It's,
Oh, okay.
it's UK, but
Yeah.
they have the James Bond, Albert Broccoli set there. It was actually, I can't remember. It was right before, I think, the first Pierce Brosnan film, or maybe it was right after the last Pierce Brosnan film, one of the two. The original studio that all of the Bond films were shot in when they would use a studio, it burned down. And
Gotcha.
Albert Broccoli had petitioned to have that place built so he could do the Bond films. And so when they rebuilt it, they put his name on it. And so now it is now known as the 007 stage, but it's called the Albert Broccoli 007 stage. But there at the bottom, the vault that he puts his suit in is
Mhm.
I mean, when I see this, I don't know when this was exactly, but I'm like, wow. And I'm not sure because this may have been like after 89, but what year did Batman Returns come out?
I think it was like 92, I think.
Yeah, they used the
Yeah.
same set. So I'm not sure if this is after that. Which, if it is after that, it's like, oh my God, they kept all this stuff for how long? I think it says at the top how, what year they tore it all down.
Well, didn't they? Now, I'm not sure if it's the exact same one, but didn't they use some of the same stuff in the Batcave when they did the CW Crisis bullshit, where they killed Bruce Wayne for no reason?
I don't know.
I know they had the car and a couple.
Yeah,
of,
they had the well, they had the frame of a car.
and like a couple of panels or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they had like one of the beep boop button panels was from an Adam West set, and then like a lot of the cave, I guess, was from the 89.
This guy basically said that there's an article 21 abandoned movie sets that you can actually visit, but he says that the claims that this place still exists are completely untrue. That was destroyed many years ago. I'm trying to see here.
It's a sad shame.
It's a 95-acre backlot. Jesus.
That's an amusement park, man. That thing is huge. It's fucking great.
Isn't that like Richie? That's like Richie Rich's house.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, I want to say that these pictures were probably taken after 89 because that's the only one they make reference to. But I know that the set was still used for Batman Returns, parts of it. I think, but I don't. It's just amazing. But this 21 abandoned movie sets that you can visit article is pretty cool too. Like I said, I'm a big person about abandoned buildings and things like that. So if I could ever get to these things, look up abandoned amusement parks too. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, they got a couple of cool ones. like in other countries and shit. Like, isn't there's like one that was an abandoned Hello Kitty one? It looks freaky as shit with like Hello Kitty deformed. So it looks like something from like Five Nights at Freddy.
Fuck that. No, thank you.
Come on, John. You know you like that stuff.
Not having it.
So apparently all my USB ports are just fucked because nothing is working in my
Really?
USBs. Yeah.
Well, I feel like maybe that's the universe saying we've gone too long today.
That's
We
just
haven't even
not-
gone that
I'm
long.
tired as fuck, and I want to go to bed.
Yeah. He's like, it's not that long. We just crossed the 2-hour mark. It's not that long.
I can say it's not that long because I've been like in and out.
Yeah, he's like, well, it wasn't long for me. It's all about
Well,
me.
Chris has only been here for like 40 minutes or so, yeah.
Wow, that feels much longer.
Of course it does. I knew you were going to say that.
You're welcome. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of tapped out. I feel bad. I'm still running on fumes from last night's insanity.
You didn't even get into your CW shit, you know?
I know. It's fucking Star. No, we say Stargirl for Sunday. Ugh, God.
No, Batwoman, man. You know you love Batwoman.
Oh,
That's your
Batwoman?
favorite show.
I don't even talk about it because it's so good. I don't feel it needs to be talked about because it's perfection.
Right?
It's a masterpiece in TV show, right? I hate my life.
Oh. There was a bunch of other random shit, but I just don't even want to get into that stuff because it's like, there's not enough information out there to even talk about some of this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know fucking Cyborg is still out there tweeting stuff out still
Oh, yeah.
randomly.
Oh, more and more stuff keeps coming out about Joss. We'll see how that goes.
I mean,
Nothing
whatever.
like bandwagon, huh?
Now, I did hear, and maybe you can, point me in the right direction. Are they doing a new Buffy series? Is that what I heard? Or is it a TV show? Or a movie, I mean.
They've been talking about rebooting the TV show forever.
Yeah.
So, and then they're talking about using a black female or something as Buffy or some shit?
Yeah.
Okay. If they're going to do that, why not do the story from like the 1980s Slayer that they showed in Buffy? Like, I think it was like a UK chick or some shit like that.
It's because they want the name. It's all about the name. It's not about.
Just call it Vampire Slayer and use her name. It's already an original character. Wait.
That would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, say that again and then realize the error of your ways.
Exactly.
Just say, we're on this. Why don't they do it like this anymore type stuff.
As we just talked about how miraculous a set was built that you'll never see shit like that again. To be fair, Lord of the Rings did that a few times. So.
No, in Lord of the Rings, that stuff that's out in the hills of New Zealand, I believe.
Yep.
That's why it's good.
Still there.
That's why
you can do
good.
tours of it.
Yeah.
They do tours of that shit.
That is a bucket list thing for me, boys. I'll tell you that right now.
And
I am a fucking
that.
nerd.
I know we talk about Lord of the Rings a lot because of its amazing way that it was done. But, like, it took me years to actually find a video because of how long that they just waited to show people. And I knew it had to be a camera trick, but how they shot them in different sizes. So, like, the Hobbits.
Yeah.
The perspective thing.
Yeah, the perspective, and then you see the tables, and when they do this video that Peter Jackson did, like the behind the scenes on how they did it, they would show you the perspective one, and then he takes the camera and he moves it so you see the exact how it does it, and it's just trips with your mind, man. It's like,
oh yeah,
you know what they're doing. You just, when it shows it to you, you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. But nowadays, no, they wouldn't do it that way because that's perspective.
It would require,
it
it would require attention to detail.
Yeah, Jesus. And again, no movie.
No one cares about that.
No movie is perfect.
No.
There's always flaws. But like you said, John, if that flaw doesn't take you out of your disbelief, or you're suspended in this fantasy world, if it doesn't take you out of that to where you stop and you're like, oh wow, that's bad, that's really bad, if it doesn't do that, then it's doing its job.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I would have to 100% agree with that.
You can't agree with that.
Okay. Fuck. I'm an ist. Sorry.
Oh man, now my kids are yelling.
yep.
Good.
Good.
Let me out.
Fucking
Oh.
audio and there.
Well, how about you yell a quote at us, sir?
I didn't even do that yet.
This guy, man, Chris.
Mm.
This guy. He's falling apart. He's falling off the rails.
I told you today has been like the worst fucking day. I got a speeding ticket earlier,
Oh,
too.
lovely.
And I'm just like, fuck today, like all over. Can I restart?
I could go for a
Okay.
checkpoint.
I can give you a quote.
Oh no. Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
I think I got one for John.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna hold on to my butt.
Here we go. Hold on. Let me.
What?
He muted himself.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Come on. I can't even pronounce these fucking characters' names. Okay, here we go. From Aragorn, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, boy.
That's how you pronounce his name, right?
The ranger himself.
Look.
Yes.
Look, I still have one to watch, so fuck off, people.
You're a bad person. Bad person.
All right. A day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day, unless you get a speeding ticket.
Unless you get a speeding ticket.
I got this one. I love it.
Oh no.
All right.
The Lord pleases you, Crom, so grant me one request. Grant me revenge, and if you do not listen, then the hell with you. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear them the lamentation of the women.
Oh, Conan.
Conan the
But you loved our jokes, Conan. You laughed.
I love the OG Conan.
You're all nerds. Well,
You're
Chris,
right here with us.
Yes, I know. I'm in the clown car riding. I'm getting a speeding ticket, and I'm gonna poop a baby.
Oh, that's good to know.
You're
It's
welcome.
been brewing for a while.
You're welcome. No, it's the curse of the village. So I'll end with Chris. Thank you for coming on to today's train wreck.
Train wreck of a fucking podcast.
I feel like we're all just kind of dragging a little bit
Today
of
has
acid.
been a bad day. Yeah, started last night, went on to today, and it's just like, holy.
I think we all need to go home and rethink our lives. No death sticks today for anyone, please.
Oh, death. Yeah, I'm available next week if you guys want to try this again and see if the reboot works better.
Yes,
Right.
let's see if we can get a new script, and maybe they'll replace me with a gender specific person. Chris,
do you want you want to
Right.
shill real quick, dude? Since you
Yeah.
didn't shill when you started on.
Yeah, the Real Review 3000 is where you can find me trying to get to 3,000 subscribers right now, and got Chaos Central, got that YouTube, got chaoscentral.com. 3 shows a week for Chaos Central. We have the Rule of 3 on Sundays, which is not technically the first one of the week. The first one of the week is the Chaos Conversation, which is on Mondays. On Tuesdays, we have the Chaos List. Those 2 are always at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Rule of 3 is at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that I have to do it because I'm outnumbered in that group as far as time. Not in this case. Nope.
Well, fuck you guys.
oh,
So
man.
Oh, never mind. I won't even bring that up on air. I'll ask you after. I just my filter stopped and said, "Wait, we're not."
Oh, shit. Well, awesome. Yeah, everybody go check him out. I watch a lot of stuff. He does some music video and band review stuff. He does basic social commentary and just everything going on. He does a little bit of everything. So.
I call it ADHD for YouTube.
I like it, and I approve, and I think that is a very, very good descriptor. So everybody go check out Chris. Hopefully Myke will get his shit together, and hopefully I'll stop being a fucking whiny baby that got pooped at a village.
Well, we know one of those things will probably.
Yes. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a good week. Later. Nerds.
Anyways.
Oh man.
You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble, and join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Don't forget to find Myke on all social platforms, including YouTube, by searching Myke Shrews, MYKESHREWS. You can find John on Instagram and YouTube via Bald Man Bad. Thanks and have a great day.